Everybody, welcome to another episode of ArmTalk. I'm your host, Jody Williams. Happy New Year, by the way. Thought I'd throw that out there. But today, my special guest, first guest of 2022, I bring to you Sarah Collins-McKinney. Sarah, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Jody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, too. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty sore today. Today was the first time I actually got back on the table since December 11th. And now that the holidays have come and gone, time to start getting serious back on the table, you know?
Absolutely. I've been lazy myself. I haven't been on the table since I think Arkansas.
Look, you and lazy does not work because the fact that I know for a fact you're always putting in the work on the cardio. That I do know.
I am. Cardio, yes, doing the cardio. But as far as pulling, I've just kind of let my arms rest from that Arkansas event.
Gotcha. Well, since I got you on the show, we want to talk about the second annual ladies only tournament. And last year you put one on, and it was more of like, hey, let's put this thing on just to kind of get some feelers and to see, hey, can this thing go good? So anytime you bring up an event for the first time, and let's just say, for example, the King of California, once you put something like that on, after it's all said and done, you kind of go, oh, what can I do to make it better? What didn't work? What can I do, differently next time around? So with your event this time around, what do you expect different opposed to the last one you did last year?
I'm hoping we're going to have a bigger turnout than we did last year. I've moved it to Dallas this year. That's kind of my goal for the ladies only event. Is last year we had it in San Antonio.
Right.
This year we're going to have it in Dallas. Next year possibly Houston. Just kind of to see where we get the best turnout and where it's convenient for everybody. So I'm really hoping this go around there's a lot more ladies than there was last year. But we will see.
Nice. Now, who's helping you put this thing? I know it's not all on you, is it? Don't you got people helping you out with that?
So we've got the TAL that is, of course, they did those custom medals, kind of designed those. Denise Waddles designed those. Huge thank you to Denise Waddles. I've got Annie Malinichik, Big Guns Annie, that is helping me as well. Going to do some sponsorship and donations with NatFit there. And Lenny has been a big help. She's going to be helping me get this thing together as well. But for the most part, it's still all coming together. It's going to be February the 19th, and it'll be I keep saying Dallas. It's actually going to be in Richardson.
Okay. Gotcha. And I think I asked you this last year because I had you on the show last year to talk about the first annual ladies only. Now we're here. Now we're year 2. And do you think since the last time we talked, and we've talked before off and on throughout the, 2021, but ever since our last interview, do you think arm wrestling for ladies has gotten better, lukewarm, so-so, or kind of tapered down? What do you think?
I think it's gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot bigger. I know for that year, we had great turnouts for the ladies at all of our events. I've seen a lot more ladies practices like that I've been having, a lot more turnout for the ladies practices. Been seeing a lot more at the tournament. I know I went to Georgia to Anthony Letterio's PAF Nationals, and I believe there were 10 ladies there.
That's good.
A good turnout. So I'm hoping we can have bigger and better turnouts in the year of 2022.
Now, you also had a ladies only practice too, and
I did.
How'd that go last year?
It went great. I did learn a couple of things as far as when I jump into this. I don't know a whole lot about putting on a practice myself, so I kind of scaled that back a little bit and changed up a few things to where we could bring in somebody that had a lot more experience as far as teaching someone how to arm wrestle and do all of that. So just trying to make those bigger and better as well. That's my goal for 2022.
I say this, not to tell you what to do, but if I'm a lady out there, and because I like where you're going with this, and you want to get somebody with a lot of knowledge out there, and depending on if you got a flying man or whatever that kind of cat, I wouldn't mind seeing someone like a Michelle Dugan or a Lori Cole, someone that is on the scene and knows. I mean, you can use Lori may not pull as much as a Michelle would if you would invite the two of them, but I will say this though. The knowledge that Lori Cole has is just astonishing. Like, she's like the ladies' almanac. She could tell you some stuff, maybe even, Carolyn Fisher. But my point being in all this is that when you get women like that in the sport, and they've been around for a while, just to sit there and pick their brain about certain things, and some of the knowledge you pick from them is probably one of the most awesome things you can ever do. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. I actually talk with Lori quite a bit. She's given me a lot of great ideas. She was actually one of the sponsors for the last year's ladies only event. So she's been a big help as well.
And I'm hoping, like I'm saying, when I saw the initial flyer, and I'm, trying to promote it, put it out there, help you out with a little bit I can. And then I saw the weight class and I'm like, oh, cool. Let me go ahead and do that. And, you hope to see some people like Nancy Locke. You hope to see Angela Matthews, women like that. Leanne Wilson. And she's fresh off of WAF Worlds, Lisa Wolfley. And the list goes on and on, hopefully Stephanie Spencer. We know all the ladies in Texas will probably be there, but things like that. I talked to Candy Passmore, but I think they have Alabama States like
the weekend
before. So she's most likely not going to be there, but she'd be another one. Like she would actually, probably come to that one. So, I would just try to reach out as much as you can because there are a lot of ladies out there. And for some reason or another, they don't come out as much. And so I'm always trying to say to myself, what can we do to get these ladies out there? You know what I mean?
I agree. That's what my goal is. And, once a year we can hold a tournament like this and hopefully get everybody together and have a really, really, really good event. That's my goal.
Now, I also know that what they did off the King of California last year, this kind of rolled into Queen of California. I'm thinking, oh, okay, I kind of like that, something like that. And maybe you can get a hold of the girls that may partake in that and say, hey, just so you know, next month I'm having this tournament right out, in Texas, right outside Dallas. You're more than welcome to come, and we, appreciate if you do come, share the wealth. It's kind of like one of those deals where one hand washes the other. Hey, you come to my event, show up, have a good time, and then when you have an event, let me know, and I'll come to that one. It's almost like we got to kind of, rub each other's back, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And hopefully then that will help out. Now, you and I, we were at the Fallen Heroes event up in Kansas City, right?
Yes.
And, I don't want to bring up too much bad memories because I know your foot wasn't doing great then. So.
And that was not fun.
Man. How's it doing, by the way? It should be all right now, right?
It's fine now. It was sore a couple days, but that one, I did everything I could not to scream out loud when that happened because I was on the center stage. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna scream, but that hurt. That hurt.
So the lady you pulled in the super match that day, do you know how to get in contact with her? I think she'd be awesome to come at the tournament.
Yes.
Okay.
Lord Farewell.
Yes. She'd be awesome to have at the tournament. You got Danielle up in what is she, Minnesota, Wisconsin, something like that?
Wisconsin. I believe I messaged her as well. I have not heard back from her yet. So hopefully she came out last year. Hopefully she can make it out again. I think she brought her friend Annie with her.
Yeah.
And made the trip.
You go to Las Vegas, you got Sarah Latona. You go to California, you can get Veronica Knight, Blanca Vega. I'm sure there's some more ladies in there in the area, and have them come and just kind of just throw out the red carpet or, throw them a grapevine or whatnot. And you can help have, some of these ladies at the event. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Any and all ladies are welcome. I mean, if I've offered my house, for those that are traveling, if they need don't want to pay for a hotel, need someplace to stay, just get in contact with me and I can make arrangements and accommodations for them.
Oh, I know Stephanie will be there. She'll be there. Don't you worry. She'll be right there. So, and there's some other ladies too. So if you go to the East Coast and you got Anna Kanai, I think she lives in the New York area. You can get a hold of her. Maybe Miss Top Roll. She's out in that area. So, I mean, there's always some ladies out there just trying to reach them and say, hey, even Bethany Ritchie now just got engaged to, Doug Allen. She's another one, and she actually did good at the Fallen Heroes event. So there's another, mantra. It's just trying to get all the ladies at one area at one time because normally they're all scattered, right? Which is, I get all that. It's hard to get ladies in the sport anyway. And then when they're all scattered, it's kind of like, well, what can we do to get them all, in one area at one time saying, hey, ladies only, and you got to come up with like, okay, well, what's the drawing capacity? What can we do to make sure these ladies get here? If that means, hey, Michelle, if that means, hey, if you got to come out here and just, I don't. How do you feel about seminars? Let me ask you that. How do you feel about seminars?
I've only been to a couple of seminars. I think I went to that one in Waxahachie.
Oh yeah.
I'm not opposed to the seminars, but I haven't been to very many of them to be able to develop and have an opinion on it.
Because heck, I see the one in Waxahachie I was at, because they had, Luke Kent, Michelle Dugan, Corey West, Michael Tyler, all those guys were there. And, what I'm saying is when you do that kind of stuff, then maybe that might be the kicker. Like, hey, so-and-so is going to be there. If I got Lori Cole, legendary world champion Lori Cole, we're talking about over the top Lori Cole, going to be there in person and stuff, then maybe it takes a big name to come and draw everybody. I know from a guy standpoint, that's what happens. I know, like, hey, if so-and-so is going to be at your practice or so-and-so is going to be at your tournament, then that draws more names too. And I'm just thinking maybe if you went that route, I don't know. Maybe not. It's just worth a shot, Sarah Backman, maybe. I doubt it, but maybe, she'd be a person I might be interested in because I know she has her own thing going on, So, just to kind of like, what can I do? Maybe a Nancy Locke out of the Bay Area, out in Petaluma. Maybe get a hold of her. Maybe she might, because she could teach everybody a lot of stuff too. She's a former WAF champion in her own right. So that's just something I kind of, thought about, before I got a hold of you and trying to say, what can we do to put our heads together to make this thing a success and to make sure that this thing has longevity? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. There's a lot of ideas I've got brewing. I just got to make them happen in 2022. It's been I entered in 2020, kind of in November of 2020,
right,
back into the sport, not really knowing what I was going to do and just trying to compete and train again and, hit my 1 year mark in 2021 and did a lot of good in 2021. So 2022 is going to be even better.
Yeah, you've been traveling too, because I went to Waxahachie, Texas. You were there. I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. You were there. I went to Kansas City, Missouri. You were there. So it's kind of like you've been going out there, putting in some miles and stuff. And I'm thinking, hey, that's the only way, at least I think, to really test yourself outside your comfort zone. And what I mean by that is that, hey, do you always want to be that big fish in a small pond, so to speak? You want to really know, because if let's just say you're dominating your, I don't know, city or state or whatever, and you want to say, okay, I want to know first hand, how good am I really at? Then you got to venture out. If that means a different state, different time zone, whatever the case, different region, whatever the case may be, and I applaud you by doing that kind of stuff,
Yeah, it definitely helps kind of gauge where I'm at and what all other ladies are out there and get to meet new ladies and, help get them to other events. That's kind of my main goal. Like I said, I've created that Facebook page to kind of do posts and, we coordinate and try to figure out where we're going to be at this tournament. Are you going to this tournament? And, try to all hit the same tournament. Definitely makes it fun.
Well, we'll say this with the Texas Arm Wrestling. The one thing I am just kind of jealous where y'all got qualifiers. Like you got a Northern region qualifier, a Southern region qualifier, a Western. You got all kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, because Texas is so big anyway, you got teams from like Corpus Christi, San Antonio, the Houston area, Lubbock, whatever the case may be, Austin. And when y'all got these tournaments, these are qualifiers. Explain to everybody out there, how does that really work? Because if you win the qualifier or placed at a certain spot, then you automatically go to the Texas State Championships. I was talking to Billy Ortegas about this once, and tell me again how that works out.
So we have a qualifier for each region.
Okay.
I think January 22nd, I believe, is going to be the Western qualifier. With Mark Perez. Basically, if you win first place, you get a free entry to the state championship.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So let's just say me and Anthony Lowe, right? We're going at it for first place. and he beats me, then he punched his ticket to the Texas State. So he doesn't really have to qualify anymore, right?
That's right. Once you qualify, you're qualified.
Now, my question would be, let's just say he qualified at the West region, right? Then he goes to a Southern region and he's there again. I'm trying to still trying to qualify. But yet, I finished second to him again. How does that work? He already qualified, we took first. How does that work out?
That's going to be a question for Billy Ortega. So
Okay.
I would assume, and I could be 100% wrong, so I don't want to put anything out there that's not correct.
Right.
But if I'm not mistaken, if he's already qualified, then the second place could qualify if you got second. But
okay.
I don't want to be wrong or put me on the spot with that one.
Right.
So I can definitely find out and then get back with you on it.
Because I know for a fact that as far as qualifying for WAF Worlds, if you go to Unifies, if hey, you already qualified, and then all of a sudden, hey, I want to qualify again, but so the top two go to WAF Worlds, right? Cool. But let's just say, second place can't go for whatever reason, then it goes down to the next person who placed higher, which would be at that point third place. Then that third place person will be offered, hey, you get offered a spot on Team USA because the second place finisher couldn't make it. So it's on you now. And then if they can't make it, then it goes down the line. So, okay, I kind of see.
We have something similar like that. We have the Champion Funds account.
Right.
When you have super matches, you pay into $20 an arm into the Champion Fund. And that goes to send the number one pullers to Worlds or Nationals or, whatever is decided that year. I think last year we did Worlds, and those that went from Texas wasn't a whole lot of money, but it was something little.
Gotcha.
And then if the first place person can't go, to go to second and third and so on and so on.
All right. We got 5 people in the chat, but no one's saying anything. Hey, y'all, it's the new year. Say something. This is Sarah. She's been busting her hump trying to get this thing rolling. Say something, I tell you what, because a couple guys and myself took something out of the Texas Arm Wrestling League book, okay? So we decided last spring, and we decided to create our own Oregon rankings, right? And what that consists of is because there's not a lot of tournaments in our area. It's maybe 3 between Washington and Oregon. That's it. Just 3 tournaments for the year. So that's all we got. There's Stephanie. Yeah. Speak up there, sister. Stephanie's in the house. Good.
Hey, Stephanie.
So what we decided to do is go, hey, and this is how we do it. I don't know if y'all do the same thing, but I kind of took a little bit here, a little bit there. So what we do, how you pull for rankings. Let's just say, we'll just use Billy Ortega's, for example, because he's the guy over there in Texas. Let's just say I'm number 2 in the state and Billy's 5, right? And we have this super match and he beats me, then he takes my spot at number 2, and then I drop down 1. That's how we do it here in Oregon. Or if Billy doesn't beat me, then everything stays the same. So
that's right. We do the same.
Right. So, I was just wondering, so how does that work for the ladies? Is it the same thing, or is it what's the competition like?
It's the same thing for the ladies. Same rankings. I've built them pretty much to be the same way as we had them before. I just added 2 weight classes. So
right.
We make the challenge. The rank holder can decide the location, the time, that information, and basically the match has to take place 90 days from the day the challenge is made.
Okay. Texas Arm Wrestling League's in the house. Thank you. Thanks for chiming in. Yeah. And like I said, we decided to do something like that because I liked what you guys were doing like that. And the fact that, I had to sit there and go, well, you know what? What can we do to get the juices flowing here? Because like I said, if you take 3 tournaments a year just between 2 states, because we'll have 2 in or actually we have 3, but the third one's kind of more of an amateur type base thing. But my tournament that my wife put on in June, you got another one that's in July at Myrtle Creek, and then you got Washington State, which is in December. That's it. Between both states, that's it. So what we do is that we have these big practices, and we call them the last one we had was in here in Bend, Oregon, and it was called Fall Brawl. Okay, cool. Next one's going to be February. So we kind of space them out every 4 months or so. That way, hey, we have an actual page on Facebook. You go on there, you call somebody out. Hey, I can either challenge you for your spot in our weight class, or I can challenge you or somebody else for their overall spot to make things interesting. So that's what we kind of do and stuff, you know?
That's interesting. That's it. And when you have limited tournaments like that, you kind of have to get creative.
Well, man, okay. So how many times did you see me this year? You know, you saw me a lot this year. What's that?
You've been traveling a lot.
Well, it's getting to that point where you kind of have to, because, you know, if I look at back, the one thing I like to do, and I don't know what, you know, anybody out there watching in the chat or you, what I like to do at the end of the year, once Christmas is come and gone, I kind of sit there and go, okay, you know, I look back and go, what did I do this year that was good, bad, whatever? And I sat there and thought, okay, I traveled to Nevada, Oklahoma, Texas, Florida, Missouri, Washington, and you kind of almost have to travel where we're at. You know what I mean? Because tournaments are few and far between. You kind of have to do that, and it's unfortunate. But you know, people like California, they don't have to travel as much. People in Florida, heck, Texas, Kansas City, you know, in that area between Missouri and Kansas, they don't have to travel as much because there's so many tournaments there within earshot distance that you really don't have to travel where we kind of have to. So that's one of the things I was always jealous of you guys about, because you guys have that. There's a lot of, a lot of arm wrestling pools in that area, men and women all over the place. And I wish it was kind of here like that in Oregon, but unfortunately it's not. And that's just the way it is, you know.
Texas has got a lot of pullers, good place for arm wrestling, absolutely.
You know, and I'm hoping we do something like that. And look at Stephanie. She would love to have a Lori Cole seminar. So maybe that could be a thing one of these days, you know. But that would be awesome. Let's change gears and talk about you for a second. Aside from the All Ladies tournament, what is in store for you in 2022?
My goals in 2022, of course, my first event will be the ladies only, and then I am looking at doing nationals. So I think it's IFA Nationals is actually in my backyard. So
yeah, why not? Irving, Texas. Go ahead, do that.
So I plan on going to that. But my main goal of 2022 is to hit a bunch of different tournaments I have not hit before. So the states that I traveled last year, I want to travel different states and hit different tournaments this year.
Right. Oh, are you going to the Arnold?
As of right now, no.
Okay.
Now that's not a definite.
Right.
That is an event that I would like to do, but I don't know if I will be able to swing that event yet or not. It's still in the works.
And Dustin Laughlin says population of Texas is about 30 million.
Now, there's a lot of people in Texas.
Man, like I said, when I went down there March of last year, and, you know, for that weirdo camera guy in the ROTN, and I was just so like, wow, just, you know, the different teams that were there. You know, I'm thinking, wow, I mean, you got guys from Arkansas, of course, and anybody in the surrounding area, you know, Louisiana. It's just like, are you kidding me? And like this, guys from the East Coast, and it was just like I had a blast there, and I was like, damn, you know. And it's just like, yeah, Dustin, I know. He goes, population of Oregon, 4.2 million. Exactly. See, and Texas is so big. I think Oregon can fit inside of Texas. That's how small we are. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, when you have the fourth largest state in the country, Houston, then yeah, I get that. But like, yeah, I like to do the same thing. I got a few things on the horizon that may happen. I mean, I've been talking with Neil Pickup, and fingers crossed. I know his next Arm Wars is at the end of this month in January, and he has another one coming up. And there's been some talk that your boy Chocolate Thunder might be on the card. So I got to really, you know, be smart about that. I got some other things on the horizon that I can't say yet. So I'm kind of keeping that one to myself until the green light goes. And so we'll see how that goes. So, but yes, I agree.
Well, Texas will definitely be cheering for you. I can tell you that.
I appreciate that. And the thing is, though, is that, hey, you know, when you have IFA Nationals, Irving, Texas. I assure you that this time around, it will be a lot better because IFA Worlds will be right outside of Paris, France this fall. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, it won't be in the United States this year. So
No.
I do think Nationals will have a huge turnout this year. There'll be a lot of competition there.
Yeah. So I mean, there's still that, and which is good because Worlds was going to be in Ukraine, and then they said, okay, and I guess they had their meeting, end of the year meeting, and said, hey, let's change gears, let's move it to Paris, France. So there is that. So I mean, who doesn't want to go to France, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, France, I would love to go. I don't know if I can make that happen yet. Don't know if I'm at that level to pull yet or not. But
right.
Eventually, that's my goal down the road is to go to Worlds.
Right.
And actually do good.
Oh, see, there you go. TAL also said there will be at least 10 tournaments in Texas alone this year. So think about that for a second, right? 10 tournaments in 12 months. Now, there are so many that you can actually pick and choose from. Do I want to go to this one? And, when I first got into the sport in 2011, it was more of a, hey, are you going to this tournament? Yes or no? Okay, if you're going, I'm going. Cool, let's go. Or, you get word, hey, well, now it's all about, well, how much is the payout? Things like that. And it's like, we kind of got away from the competition. But now, when COVID came and kind of ruined some things, it made us, as pullers and athletes, made us morph our sport into more of, okay, let's do these one-on-one matches now. So everybody's like having all these super matches, which is not a bad thing. I've had a few last year, worked in my favor, whatever. But the thing is, though, now I think we're doing that more. That's like the flavor of the month now. Super match, super match, super match. What are your thoughts on super matches versus tournament pooling?
I like the idea of super matches. I think they bring attention, to a tournament. But I like the tournament pulling and just the tournaments themselves. I think it's a lot of fun to pull multiple people.
Yeah.
But I'm not opposed to super matches. We actually got a good one at the All Ladies event coming up.
Do tell.
And Elizabeth Mosaic.
Nice.
Elizabeth has called Lenny out for her #1 rank, so we'll be having that at the All Ladies event. It's going to be a very exciting match.
Now, if a lady wants to call somebody out for the event, do they have to be from Texas?
For the rankings, yes.
Okay. I mean, it could be just a regular super match, just for,
Anybody can have a super match.
Okay.
Match. So if Danielle wanted to have a super match with Lee Aaron, we could do it at the All Ladies event.
Ooh, I like that. I like that matchup. Because I know for a fact Danielle's been kicking ass in the gym, and
she has.
I've been following her on Instagram, and she's been putting in the work. And Lee Aaron, she just came off fresh off of what was it? Bulgaria they went for this year's Worlds. Just came off of there.
She did great at Worlds. She did wonderful.
So I'm like, just that alone, it's like, I like that matchup. Is that a for sure thing, or is that just like kind of up in the air?
Oh no, that was just an example of like you were asking, can anybody have a super match?
Gotcha.
And I was giving you that example, but I think it'd be a great matchup.
You know who I think you would match up good with?
Who?
Sarah.
Oh, Lord.
No. This is good. I would love to see you on the table with Sarah Latona.
Somebody actually said that when I first jumped back into the sport to have a match. I don't remember what event it was at.
Right.
But I think she wasn't training, but I think that would be a good matchup as well. I'm eager to meet her. I've talked to her a lot, but I haven't ever met her in person.
I think y'all two are similar in stature, and I think just looking at, because I've seen the both of y'all pull, and you and I have talked, in private about certain techniques we'd like to go over and what I think you might be beneficial to you. And by the way, have you tried that?
I have not yet. Like I said, I haven't been back on the table.
Gotcha. So when you get a chance, just, go talk about what we talked about, just kind of go back and do that. And maybe that might help. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But I mean, when I see people on the table and I kind of go, you know what? maybe if you just adjust this, adjust that, fix this, fix that, maybe that can, enhance your style, whatnot. So I like to help people out. But yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe I can kind of get a hold of Miss Latona and go, hey there, sister, guess what? What are your plans on the 19th next month? Maybe you should make a trip down to Texas because I would love to see you go against Sarah. And there you go,
If she'd be willing to do it, I'd be willing to do it. I talked to her a little bit. I think she's unsure if she can make the event or not. But if she's willing to do it, I'll pull anybody. I've said that. I enjoy the sport. I like, promoting, getting out there, and I pull just about anybody.
That's true. That's the thing. I mean, there are some people out there, no need to be naming names, but I know some people out there that are like duck and dodge. It's like, they want to be a puller, but yet when push comes to shove, they tend to like kind of take a back seat. Like, I don't want to do that. It's like going, are we here to compete or are you here to be a spectator? What are we doing here? And I know sometimes, we all as athletes here, especially in this kind of sport, because it's one-on-one, right? So, and yes, you have teammates you can train with. I get that. But at the end of the day, when you hop on that table, it's just you and your opponent. So it is tend to be one-on-one. And I understand that there could be a situation where it's like, okay, here we go. But, the thing is, though, you can't be scared. And that's the one thing I really admire about you. You'll pull anybody. Doesn't matter what category. I mean, they can weigh 20 pounds more than you or 10 pounds less than you. You don't care. You want to compete because the more hands you get to feel, the better you're going to be able to, apply your training. You know what I mean?
That's right. The more I get to pull, the different hands I get to pull, I learn something with everybody that I pull.
Right. Scotty Evans, arm wrestling, said, shout out to from Northern Utah, Tactical Arms. Yes, I got my Tactical Arms shirt in my bin over here in the closet. Yes, yes, yes. So who helped you out with the last tournament last year with the all ladies? Didn't someone else help you out with that?
Marilyn did, yes.
Yes.
And Marilyn was, she got injured at that tournament.
Okay.
And she's kind of been out of the sport, rehabbing. I have high hopes that she's going to get back into it. I'm hoping she makes her debut with y'all ladies, but we shall see.
Good. Thank you, Scott. He said, awesome interview. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We got 4 likes. We'll take that. We'll take that. We can get more, though. We can get more. So 2022. Well, actually, 2021, you traveled, put some miles on there, competed. Now we're looking forward to this year. Is there a certain person in your mind that you would love to pull? Who would that be?
Let's see. Honestly, I'm not sure. I had initially said last year I'd like to get back on the table with Rebecca, but Rebecca had retired.
Yeah.
There was some talk about her coming back, and then she's unable, to come back, and she's just not doing the sport anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd really have to think about that. Ideally, I would like to give Lee Aaron some competition this year. I really would. I don't know, where I'm going to scale up with her this year. I've been training, getting stronger, trying to get better. But ultimately, she makes it out to the all ladies event. I'm hoping to give her better competition this year.
Yeah, she's one of those. If you don't stop her hit, it can be pretty lethal. You know what I mean?
She's amazing. She's strong as hell.
Right.
Miss Top Roll is another one I pulled in October at the PF Nationals.
Gotcha.
I'd like to, I picked her brain a lot. She was very helpful that day as far as exercises and, things to get better, what to do. And, I'd like to give her better competition next time. We had an okay match, but she destroyed me in the strap.
Well, you're going to learn from that. I get my ass kicked in practice in the strap sometimes. More often times than not, it's just, and it's weird because I got this block where, I pull my teammates and it's like going, okay. And there's times I feel like I can't do anything with. But yet I pull somebody else and I'm like, fine. I don't know if it's some kind of blockage. I don't know. It's always been weird to me. Dustin Laughlin says, what about Karen Ellis?
He has said that before. He thinks we'd have a good match. To my knowledge, I'm not sure if she's pulling, but like I said, I'll pull anybody. I'll do a super match with anybody. I'm not opposed to doing it. To me, I learn. If I lose, I learn. I don't
Right.
necessarily lose, I learn.
Yeah, that is a saying people like to use a lot. I don't lose, I learn. And for me, it's like, yeah, if I lost, I lost. That's what it is. But if I'm lucky enough to get some footage on that, and more often times than not I do, then I'm back home. I'm watching it going, okay, over and over and over again. And
that loss gives you a different motivation. If I lose, I get pissed off, and I want to. It makes me train harder.
Hell, even in the super match, and I'm like going, fuck, like you got to come up with something right then and there. So you were there, and I'm pulling Roger Learn, and I'm thinking, all right, I've been this whole thing's been building up between him and I, and we finally got it done. And match one, I went to this semi-lazy hook, or I tried to go and he cut me and I got stretched out. I'm thinking, fuck. Now I have a good, decent lockout here, but he has so much pronation after he stopped it that I was like going, crap. So then I got so much going on in my head. I go back to my corner and I got Tim Thomas saying, bro, you got to fucking hit. So I adjusted a few things on the fly, went back one match two, and so on. And we all kind of do that kind of stuff. So, I guess where I was going with that is the fact that, yeah, when you lose, you get pissed off. But then more often times than not, you could probably tell me this too. Once you lose the match, you kind of go, damn, I know what I messed up at. I know what I do next time. Does that ever cross your mind?
Absolutely. And I think that's better with the 3 out of 5 super matches versus the 2 out of 3. I prefer to do the 3 out of 5.
Right.
Because with 2 out of 3, I don't feel like I can make the necessary adjustments that I need to.
Well, some people, I heard someone say this, I can't remember who it was, and they say reason why that person likes the 2 out of 3 is because if you lost twice in a regular tournament, it would take 2 losses anyway, right? Or they would say, hey, I already beat you twice. How many times I got to prove that you can't beat me? Whatever the case may be, I feel like, yeah, favorite format is best of 5, right? Then you got 6. Then you got 6 rounds. Then you got best of 3, and it's just okay. You got so it depends on how you want to look at it. You could say, and for some reason, when someone says best of 5, I see it differently when and then someone says a race to 3. Because then my mind just, I don't know if I'm dyslexic, but my mind is just different. When someone says, hey, it's a race to 3 rather than best 3 out of 5. Oh, okay. Then I just look at it differently. How do you feel about that?
I like the best of 5.
Gotcha.
I do. I prefer the best of 5. I don't know why. I think that's a better format for a super match.
Right. And not only that, but the fact that, okay, if I'm going best of 5, then you know what? I'm bringing all my weapons in my arsenal, because if I just give you my fastball and you stop that, then it's like, well, crap, now what? You better have a plan B and sometimes a plan C, and that's when it matters. That's how we know, okay, is this person for real or not? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It does. That was my goal. A lot of what I've been working on the last 6 months is I would press, and that's all I do is press. And I'm trying to get away from that. Not that I'm opposed to doing it. I still can.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I've been working on is different, something other than the press, mostly the top roll or a hook, or just being able to do all of the moves and being good and strong in all of the moves.
Yeah. Now, do you perfect one move before you start doing the other? Because you don't want to be that person that's like, hey, if I got 3 different moves, let's just say hook, top roll, press, but yet I'm only good, 33% good in all 3 of them, then are you really good at any of them? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean by that?
It does make sense. My press is what I've perfected.
Right.
My top roll, it's a work in progress. I got stronger at it? Yes. Does my form need work? Yes. I get on the table and revert back to the press when I feel like I'm in trouble. So right. It's just going to take table time. And the more I do it, the better I'm going to get at it.
So what does your training look like? I mean, are we doing weights? Are we doing table time with people? Are we doing bands? I mean, pulleys? What are we doing? Handles? What we got?
I am doing a lot of band work right now and a lot of weight training.
Okay.
Table time, yes. Stephanie and I had a battle in Arkansas, both of us. She suffered an injury from that.
Right.
My arms hurt a lot after Arkansas. I think our match for left and right hand was about a minute and a half. And I think that's the longest match I've ever had in a battle like that. So it definitely took a toll on my arms. So I just kind of let them rest, let them heal, did a lot of blood flow, and just stayed off the table. I did go to that the Jerry Cataract practice, and I think that's the last time I was on the table out at Adam Air Games. And I practiced around with Elizabeth, and she's getting a lot stronger. But since then, I've just took a break.
How'd you like that practice?
That was a good practice. It was fun. A lot of people were there. We had a lot of fun out there. Learned a couple of new things. So it was a good practice.
Are we ever going to see you and Candy Passmore on the table again?
We were on the table in Georgia. I convinced her to pull left-handed. Mm-hmm. Now, she is not a left-handed puller. She is a right-handed puller, and she is a badass right-handed puller.
Hey, yeah.
But I convinced her to enter left, just to make it fun, have more girls in it. And she and I got on the table left-handed.
Yeah.
We did not get to pull right-handed. I think she got knocked out before I did, so she and I did not get to meet up on the table. But
gotcha.
I'm sure we'll see each other again on the table. She's hopefully going to be competing and traveling, and I'm going to try to get some more events out that way, and it'll be fun.
There you go. Stephanie Spencer said she hasn't been back on the table since. So I'm assuming that because of the injury or maybe because of holidays or whatnot. I'm not sure, but you said she hurt herself?
I know she sustained an injury. I don't know if it was the extent of it, but I know she hurt her arm in that match.
Right.
And it affected her being able to power lift as well. So I've been off the table too. It took a toll on my arms. It was a different experience.
Right. What I used to do, like when I was like 4 or 5 years in, was that I would sit there and use, like, by the time we hit the fall season, like usually October might have been my last tournament of the year. I would use November, December, January to kind of like, okay, it's time for me to heal and then slowly get back in. It was more like an off season. But I know that, sometimes there ain't no off season arm wrestling. There's so many tournaments going on, and you want to go, okay. So it's almost like, hey, when we train to the fullest. But when we train knowing we have a tournament coming up or knowing we have a match coming up, then all of a sudden it kicks in with the intensity. Do you think that's true?
I agree. Absolutely.
Because I would love to do some more of that kind of stuff. And then I kind of go, you know what? I'm going to train year round. So when
I think that was the best advice Sarah Backman gave me, or Sarah Olivia, was I hit last year, I don't know if I was burnout or just hit a rut or whatever it was. Like I just didn't want to train anymore. I felt like nothing was working. And she had said, set a goal, get a match set up, set a goal, do something and train towards that. And that's what I did for the PAC Nationals for that 154 belt. And we ended up having, I think, 8 or 10 girls pull for it, and I ended up taking third out of that for that belt.
Yeah. And
that
you know
was
what?
Probably some of the best advice I'd ever got was set a goal and have those goals in place, and it keeps your training, keeps you focused.
Now, does that make you hungry to go after that belt again?
It does. I've been chasing that belt, I think, since 2017.
Right.
I think I pulled Rebecca for it. I pulled Lee Aaron for it. And then I pulled this round for it. But yeah, I want that belt. I want one of those belts.
There you go. Because honestly, I think this, because growing up, I was a big wrestling fan. I always thought it was cool when someone held some kind of title, some championship belt. I always thought that was real cool. So, when, we'll just talk about the Fallen Heroes event. And you had Bo Olsen, you had Rush Schrader pulling for the top row belt. And for me, I was like, man, that'd be kind of cool to pull. I mean, and I had to, hey, Ryan, Johnson, I was like, hey, what does it take? Does somebody have to finish first in their class to get a crack at that? Or is it just mainly, how does that work out? I think he said something along the line, it has to make sense. It could be somebody who I think might give that person a good pull. So I'm thinking, oh, okay. So you don't necessarily have to win first to get a crack at that belt, but it'd be kind of cool, because to sit there, because that alone will change a person in a good way. If you got that 154 belt, right off the bat, hey, I got a target on my back. This lady's looking at me, whether it be Laren, Sarah Latona, Annie, whoever. There's going to be ladies coming for that belt. It's like, okay, I got to get my butt in gear. That makes you train that much harder because you got to stay razor sharp. Because if you don't, that belt can come right back off you,
That's right.
So I do agree about that. So in Texas, how come there's no belts in Texas? What the hell?
Well, that's something that we've discussed and hopefully will be in the works.
Right.
There's a lot of things in the works that the Texas Arm Wrestling League has goals and plans, and we've just got to execute those either in 2022, 2023.
Right.
But I don't think it's a bad idea, and it's been brought up before. And
nice.
I think it would be good, especially for those number one, ranking holders to have that and be able to defend that.
Exactly. Let's go. Don't forget to hit the like button, people. Hit that like button. Stephanie did say that she needed a break. So, and it's cool to take breaks because, like today, January 1st was our first. Today was just day one of 2022. So today was the first day all of us got back on the table since that Washington State Championships in December 11th. So, and we didn't train like the week before that event. So we basically had about 4 weeks, give or take, off from the table. I mean, we all kind of worked out here and there. I didn't work out as much, so it took me about probably the half hour to kind of, after pulling, to go, okay, now I see where I'm at. Because before I was like, dude, I can't do anything. But taking a break also is a good thing because if you are sore, it heals the wounds. And I need to listen to myself because, like a knucklehead, I had an MRI during, Christmas Eve and stuff, and I'm sitting up here and, hey, your boy got tendonitis in the right bicep. So I start physical therapy Thursday. So right now I am on the shelf right-handed, which is weird because now when I train, all my training is cut in half now because I'm only doing one arm now. So everything's cut in half. So that's weird to me, For you, which is your dominant hand?
So I am stronger left-handed, but I'm more technical right-handed.
Gotcha.
I broke my right hand twice.
Ooh.
When I was a kid, broke it. Well, yeah, twice. So that pinky, is not as strong as my left hand.
Right.
But my technique is better right.
Oh, nice. Robin Chandler is in the chat. She says, hi, Jody. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Robin. Hope you're doing well. Congratulations on winning Worlds, by the way.
Yes. I know she was really wanting that stuff, and she dominated. So good job, Robin.
She did.
And she says, hope you'll be okay for Arnold's, Jody. No, Robin, there'll be no Arnold's for me because Arnold's is a right-handed only tournament. You know that, I know that, but no, I am on the shelf until I can get this thing. And what's weird because my hand is just fine, but I can't create any kind of up pressure or side pressure due to all that pain that goes right through the bicep. So that's not all good. That's not good. That's pumpkin training. Okay, here we go. Desperation pancake, pumpkin training. I may have to do that. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. I'm a waffle guy, so maybe, but
no pancakes.
Yeah, no pain. I had some for breakfast today, but a little raspberry syrup. But other than that, I'm more of a waffle guy myself. So, but my whole thing, with this trying to, what can I do to help out, get the word out with this ladies only tournaments? I know this is your brainchild, and if it's done right, this can be a yearly thing to where it's like, okay, cool. We want to get to a point where the ladies are talking about it. Hey, Christmas is now. First of all, I should ask you this: do you always want to hold it in February?
No.
Okay.
It won't always be held in February. It will be a different month. It'll be based on the TAL schedule and what we set for that year.
Gotcha. Okay.
The way the schedule went for this year, it had to be done in February. Someone asked if we could change it. The schedule's already set. Once the schedule's set, we're not changing it, especially since I've already set the venue and everything. But it will be at different months. different towns. Like next year, my goal is to do it in Houston.
Right.
Depending on how it turns out here, it's hard for me last year to manage things and do things. Me being in Dallas and being in San Antonio. This year it's in Dallas or Richardson.
Right.
So it's right down the road for me. It makes it a little bit easier. I just don't have the same sponsors that I did in San Antonio.
Gotcha. No, I totally get that. Because you want to get to a point where all the ladies are like going, you know what? Hey, when's the ladies only tournament? I can't wait for that one. You know what I mean? I want the ladies to sit there and say, all right, hey, Sarah, when's this tournament? I'm going to mark it on my calendar. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I hope all the ladies do that. I mean, this is only the second one. Last year, I think COVID had a lot to do with it. And, hopefully this year we'll have a bigger and better turnout for all the ladies.
Yeah. And you know what? I think, well, first things first, when I saw Denise Waddles, make those awards, and I saw that, and I was very impressed because, it's not your typical award that you would normally see at a normal event. Because this is like
try to make them unique.
Yeah, and when I saw the outline of it, I was like, "going, man, those are pretty badass." So that alone was already better than last year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. The custom awards this year. That's my goal, is to make it bigger and better.
Right.
The shirts. Bethany Craig is going to be doing Matt Craig's wife. She's going to be helping us with the shirts. She does amazing work. She's done it before. Looking forward to getting those out and showing everybody what those are going to look like. And,
nice.
I know we've already got the awards done. Denise did a great job. So each year we plan on doing it bigger and better.
I know firsthand Denise does awesome work with the awards. I know this firsthand. So anybody out there, if you plan on throwing a tournament and you want nice awards, by all means, get a hold of Denise Waddles, because and just kind of give her an idea about what you might like. And did you see the new belt buckle she had out?
I did not.
If you go on the webpage, the USA United States Arm Wrestling Association page on Facebook, she and I said this because somebody had posted, because back in the day it was huge to win belt buckles for like state tournaments or national. That was a thing, and all of a sudden they kind of got away from that, and which is fine because you always want something different. And I was like, man, that'd be cool to get back to that. So they got some in there. She tagged me, and I'm thinking those belt buckles are pretty nice, but they're not for every USAA event. They'll be on for some. So I'm thinking I know there'll be a couple at my event that my wife and I put on, and they're going to be for the overall left and right. So when you get off, by means, everybody in the chat, check them out. Those are pretty nice, and you can see how big they are once you see them in someone's hand. It's just like the IFA World Medals. Those things are fucking huge, and you don't realize how big they are until you see them in person. If you just see them laying on a table, you don't know if someone zoomed in on the camera or whatever, but you don't really know until you have them in your hand, and then it kind of puts in perspective. So I would advise anybody to go check those out. Those are pretty neat. So
yeah, she did. She did amazing work. I'm very impressed with it. Reasonably priced, and yep, that's the person you need to go to have your awards made. She did a wonderful job.
Nice. Hey, well, I tell you what, we've been on here for 53 minutes and change, and I have to work the graveyard shift tonight, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut you loose. I know you got stuff to do. I want to thank everybody for in the chat. Appreciate that. Dustin, Stephanie, we got TAL, Scott Evans, Robin Chandler, the whole crew was in. Appreciate that. So Sarah, let me know next time you get that stuff updated on your flyer. I'll make sure I repost that. And everybody in the chat today, feel free. The flyer's out there. Help everybody out. Get the word out there. It will be Richardson, Texas, February 19th, correct?
February 19th. And I do have a GoFundMe posted on my page.
Yes.
If anybody'd like to donate or sponsor or contribute to help the ladies, it's much appreciated.
Yes. And like I said, maybe between now and then, you'll probably lock in somebody, maybe a seminar, maybe somebody will come down and it's to pick people's brain. That's an awesome thing to have. I like where this is going and stuff. Or maybe even get like it's either a seminar or like a key matchup that brings people in, if not both. So I'm gonna see if I can get a hold of a couple people and go, hey there, what if you pulled so and so? So let me do some digging around. I can do that for you, and I'll get back to you if I hear anything. But until then, God bless you. Keep training hard because it's a new year, right?
It's a new year, yes.
And we're going to do what we do. So I'm going to let you go so you can enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Daddy.
All right,
Talk
take
to you
care.
later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So that was Sarah Collins-McKinney. And I'm telling you right now that this is her brainchild, right? And maybe events like this will spur on other ones because now, I mean, let's be real, California, right? They're going to have a queen of the table, right? I'm sorry. Queen of California, I take that back. Queen of California, they're going to have. So, you got the ladies only tournament. You got the Queen of California. Things can only get better. I mean, for everybody, with all these super matches happening, although we all have to go across the pond for people in North America to compete with. Thank God we got Paul Italia, right? Thank God we got Bill Collins and Denise Waddles, and the list goes on and on. All these other promoters here doing what they do. Okay, and I appreciate that. So, again, thanks, everybody. Yeah, there you go, Mr. Dustin Laughlin. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Happy New Year once again. It is 2022, and I hope everyone stays injury-free. And as always, I will see you when I see you. Y'all take care of yourself. Train hard. Be safe.